Right, so it's really late at night here, and I did swing the camera around to, like flick that button at the top to look at me, and then I looked at it and I thought, oh my God, stay at me. Oh. So I swung it back. So we're looking at my new TV instead, which is massive. And because it's so big, I've got to change my whole front room around, which means that I do what women love most to do tomorrow. I take the furniture for a walk around the front room. And it'll probably take me about 3 hours to take the furniture for a walk around the front room. Because women like doing that. I'm sure that you boys have learnt this. Women like taking the walk with the furniture around the front room. And then I'll probably sit for 2 hours and then look at it all again and think, do you know what? Let's take the furniture for a walk again and put it all back where it was. But this giant-sized television that I've got, which is wonderful because I don't have to squint anymore, but it's massive. I've had to move all the furniture out. So, you know what? Positives and negatives. And, I've had quite a busy day today. I've solved a couple of problems with the homeless people from the unit. A bit of a long story that I need to introduce you to them all. There's loads of them. They're lovely people, but you know what? Any one of us could end up homeless at any point. So there, but for the grace of God, go you or I. And Kobe's been for a walk. One of my neighbours knocked and said, can I take Kobe for a walk, me and my girlfriend? And he went for a walk for like 3 hours. It was wonderful. He's crashed out on the sofa at the moment. And I see that lamp there and this lamp here. That one. Well, I bought them a couple of months ago, actually. Look, there's the box there. And as much as I like them when I bought them, the light that they give really is a bit bright. I feel as if I'm in a police station being interrogated. So I've put them up for sale on Facebook. And I've had my... I went down to visit my adopted son, which he didn't want me to put it up on Facebook, but I did video it and I'm going to put it up on Facebook because he suffers from paranoid schizophrenia and he has injections every 2 weeks to help him deal with that. I've known him since he was a kid and he didn't used to suffer from it. It's a long story. And people say to me, including his own relatives, don't you worry about going to visit him. Don't you worry about staying with him and in case he goes into one of his schizos and he tries to kill you and whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a paranoid schizophrenic and he does go into schizophrenic modes and all that. Well, I speak to him every day, but I don't get to go and visit him that often. And because I've been on this lockdown and went down to see Jai and the kids and everything else, and I've come back and I've got loads of things I've got to do here and I've got to catch up with work and I try not to, when I do the Kobe stuff, I try not to rant and rave about different stuff about what's going on in the world at the moment, but that doesn't mean to say that I'm not involved with it still. In fact, tonight I should have gone. I didn't because something else happened, so I didn't go. Although I did pay the ticket, which is 150 quid. And it was for 4 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, in the City of London. And it's lectures, which is really for solicitors and barristers. But because I belong to the Barristers Association, which is long story, where I studied law back in the 90s. It's all a long story, such a long story. A lot about my life that you don't know about. And so it's about, in London, there's a conference at the moment about human rights. And one of the things that they're skipping through the Parliament with this COVID lockdown, because most people don't listen to Parliament anyway, so they breeze it all through, and everyone's out there working and doing whatever they're doing and trusting in the government and da-da-da-da. But one of the things that they're skipping through at the moment, which is of great interest to me, because I'm an environmental architect and I'm interested in what they build, one of the laws that they're pushing through is that the local areas, you know, your local government that you have in different areas, they've got control over planning. And so, like, for instance, if you've got a nice little village and someone comes along and buys a bit of land and they want to build a 30-foot tower block in a really nice little village where there's thatched houses, the local tanning people, they're saying, no, you can't do that. So they're trying to, they're not trying to, they're going to eliminate that law. And they're taking the planning away from the local boroughs and the local councils, and it's all going to run from head office. So truth of the matter is, let's be honest about all this, it's who takes the biggest backhander, and you build what you want. Build what you want, wherever you want. I mean, I had a big argument with Boris Johnson when he was the mayor of London. He don't like me, Boris. Boris don't like me. Because I was dealing with the Olympic site before it had even built. This is when it was at ground source, you know, and it was to do with ground source heat and environmental stuff and everything else. And I got chatting to the architects there, and they said, oh, did you know that? And you know, it's like you chat to people, and the good thing about being a Cockney, I don't have a posh voice. I'm not like all the people I went to university with who speak very nice English. And when you're a Cockney, people treat you as if you're a bit of an idiot, so they think they can say whatever they want to you, and they don't think you've got to understand what you're talking about because you've got a Cockney accent. And they feel quite safe to just chat in a relaxed way because they don't think you've got to understand what they're saying. So being a Cockney's got its advantages. As I said to someone when I was in the Centre for Alternative Technology doing my Masters, and they was very well spoken, and they kept taking the mickey out of my Cockney accent, trying to copy my Cockney accent. And as I said to them, do you know what? I can go anywhere. I can walk onto a posh housing estate because I've got a good command of the English language, and I am capable of speaking nicely. But the advantage that I've got over you is that I can also walk onto any council estate and talk to real people, and they will talk to me, and they won't talk to you, because if you walked onto a council estate with your posh accent, they'd think you was a police officer. So anyway, my Cockney accent, I've been loads of places. Don't underestimate my command of the English language, because I've got a good command of the English language, and I've got a good IQ, and I've got good common sense. So anyway, what I'm going to share with you tonight is two things, and they're both poems, and I do like a bit of poetry. So the first poem, I believe it's by Yeats, and please excuse me if I don't quote it correctly, but correctly quoted or not, it's my favourite poem, and it goes like this. I made my song a coat out of old mythology covered in embroidery. But the fools, they took it. They wore it in the world's eyes as if they'd wrought it. I let them take it. For there is more enterprise in walking naked. So I hope you understand that one, because I think that's a really good poem. And the next poem that I'm going to quote and end with is a poem that I wrote, because I do lots of writing. You know, I just scribble away. And I wrote this poem quite a few years ago. And it's one of the poems that I've written that I actually like. You know, you write things, and I write loads of stuff. But anyway, it's called Carousel. Life is like a carousel. It takes us round and around. One moment almost flying, next feet firm on the ground. We sit up high upon our steed, Pegasus we all believe. The motion starts, the music sounds, and then we are off, going round and around. Others on our journey often do not make a sound, for we all know where we came from, but not one knows where we're bound. Travellers, companions, now fellow friends, whose rides are coming to an end, neither known to us nor known to them, just who will be getting off. Then just when we think we're flying so high, almost reaching the very top, the motion slows, the music dies, and the carousel comes to a stop. Then once again, the motion starts, deep in our souls, reaching out for our hearts. The music sounds, we gather speed to canter off on our healthy steed. Sit up straight, prepare for flight. Grip the reins and hold on tight. For where we're bound, not one can tell. For isn't life a carousel? I hope you like my poem. I got lots more. And listen, believe me, once I start telling you my life story, which most of it I don't believe myself, don't even believe it myself most of the time. Well, yeah, most of the time. Then I promise you, one of the things that we're all going to do is die. We're all going to die. We're all going to die. No one can escape it. And we have to remember, because I've had a very wealthy life. I mean, I live a very poor life now, but I choose to. It's my choice. I'm not poor. I have what I need. But I've left a very affluent life, ridiculously affluent life. And do you know what? One of the things that I've really learnt in life is there but for the grace of God go you or I. And what you really need to learn, which I really needed to learn, was stop chasing the buck. Stop chasing the big house and the flashy car and all of the things that society tells you if you don't chase these things you're unsuccessful. It's rubbish. It's rubbish. It's absolute rubbish. Because the happiest places that I've been to in the world